Good afternoon, everybody. I hope everybody is doing fine. I am Henry Castro, and I will be talking about motivating instructional improvement. Let me ask you these questions. How will you motivate your fellow teacher or fellow teachers to improve his or her instruction? Or have you been strategizing to improve your instruction? How did it affect your class? How about your colleagues? How is it that some schools make progress and others do not? In other words, why or what do highly effective schools do that makes a difference? Is it because of leadership? Is it because of collaboration of the faculty and the administration? Is it because of the lack of information? Or is it because of the lack of professional development or lack of skills? According to Wright, Horn, and Sanders, the primary function of schools is to facilitate learning, which is accomplished through instruction. The question would be, what strategies do we use to facilitate learning? What tools do we use to facilitate learning? The problem is not that some schools have access to information and others do not. Schools are awash in information about most aspects of their operation. Some schools just choose to ignore the information that is available to them. Other schools take a look at the information and perhaps take the time to acknowledge the problem and then do nothing. And still other schools examine the data, develop an intervention plan, and yet they fail to implement or monitor the plan. Okay, let's check on the instructional improvement, or what are the things that includes or include in the instructional improvement. First is the interaction among the several instructional processes, such as teachers' knowledge, beliefs, and understanding of students' needs and student learning processes. For example, these include how teachers employ certain elements in their instruction, knowledge about learner characteristics, teachers' assumptions and expectations about teaching and learning, content knowledge, pedagogy, curriculum, and among others. The second would be the interactions within and across classrooms as a site of teacher learning and the levels and types of engagement within teachers' professional community. So for example, these include how structures and professional interactions facilitate shared instructional vision, okay, developing a culture of shared beliefs, trust, and collaboration, allocation of resources, supporting teacher growth, and facilitating instructional supervision and mutual improvement among a professional community. Three is the teaching culture. What is the teaching culture of your school? What do you have collaboration? Do you have evaluation? Do we have this assessment of teachers? Are we being evaluated? The quality assurance. Instructional improvement must be continuous. Problems will exist. Our jobs as educator is to seek them out, analyze them, and find a way to address them. Some problems are surprisingly easy to fix, but most are not. In fact, ones that are most firm can be most difficult to address, precisely because they have become part of the fabric of the school. Exposing these problems, examining them closely, and fixing them can extend over many months and years. But the time commitment also or alone demands that there be a process for gauging progress. And this is quality assurance. It is the planned and systematic activities implemented in a quality system so that quality requirements for a product or service will be fulfilled. Because in an organization as complex as school, monitoring the processes related to instructional improvement is very crucial. because it is easy to become consumed with daily demands and lose sight of the longer view. Let's see a model. Okay, another number 5. Teacher involvement, shared values, and a sense of ownership. It is very important. Frequent interaction with your fellow educator. Collaboration. Do we ask our fellow teacher, how have you been doing? What are the strategies that you can share with me? Okay. Teacher development program, it's very important. And of course, taking teaching seriously. How serious are we? If we grade ourselves 1 to 10, 10 is the highest. How serious are we in our teaching profession? The figure that you're seeing on your screen illustrates a general change model. This will help the teaching culture. This will develop the teaching culture, which is, it includes self, students, colleagues, consultants, and chairs here for the teaching culture. The unfreezing there has two components, the disconfirmation and the comparison. Disconfirmation, we mean it is the cue from our environment. That is information indicating that indicating our present attitudes and behaviors. Okay, while the comparison is we compare our behaviors with others. Now the changing process, or it is making happen, it is we search new ideas, new information to develop new attitudes and responses that will be rewarded or confirmed. No, we will identify ourselves with others also. Now the rephrasing process there is has two components also. It is the integration and the reconfirmation. After we integrate our behaviors, the knowledge that we already have, we integrate that to our colleagues, no? Then it will be reconfirmed. The new behavior, the new knowledge will be reconfirmed, and it will affect the teaching culture of our school. Let us remember that instructional improvement should be composed of individual, interpersonal, and group forces. Now, before we end, let's take some time to reflect on the following questions while debugging our school. What is the history of instructional improvement at your school? What efforts and initiatives have worked well? What are those things that failed? And what lessons should be carried forward as your school engage in continuous instructional improvement? Let's ask these questions. These are the references for this report, and thank you. Again, good afternoon.